Hello and welcome to the trade setup. In this video we are looking at ASP Isotopes. It is time for another update, and today we will be discussing about the important levels that we must break for a signal that this downtrend, this downturn has come to a stop, and that we may look at least at a more significant relief rally, even if in the end it still ends up turning back to new lows in this area. Now, before we get there, I would like to go quickly through the larger time frame for any of you who might be new. And here we are focusing on the green interpretation, where we have basically a 1-2 setup. Now, on this chart, we are overall tracking a diagonal pattern. Yeah, within the wave A to, or not the wave A, within the wave 1 to the upside, we have an ABC structure complete, and then we have an ABC structure in a wave 2, and now we are looking to form a larger wave 3 to the upside. Other interpretations could work out, but this is probably the more likely, in my opinion, at least for now. Yeah, we don't really have any signals that this is more bullish than this. But regardless, even within this interpretation, we do still track quite considerable upside still to come. And then within this wave 3 is where we are tracking a couple of different interpretations, where in the white scenario we have a wave A complete of the wave 3, a wave B complete, and then in the wave C to the upside we are tracking here internally a 1-2 setup. And for that we have the area of support between the $8.6 all the way down to the $4.9 level at the 78.6% retracement. And as long as we hold these levels of support, we can still track a possible direct wave 3 to be forming to the upside from this area. Now, it does overlap with what we have here as support in the yellow interpretation, in which instead of tracking here an internal 1-2 setup, we aren't even tracking a complete wave A until this actual latest stop, where we have an internal ABC structure that forms a larger wave A, and then this is the wave A of the larger wave 3. We are now in that case looking for a more possibly significant correction in a wave B. Again, the support zones do overlap, and it might be difficult to actually tell when we shift from one scenario to another, unless we end up either not getting to the support area within the yellow scenario or breaking the support zone for the white interpretation. In that case we would have a preferred scenario, clearly. But at this point we do not know that. We are still under pressure to still push lower and quite possibly reach soon enough the area of support in the yellow scenario, which is between the $6.6 all the way down to the $2.9 level. As you may see, at this point, we are only really tracking the bullish scenarios. We don't necessarily have to look for the bearish interpretations, which could lead to new lows, not as long as we have these areas of support that do still hold, and unless we manage to form here a larger 5-wave structure to the downside. Then I would be watching out extremely closely for an extension lower, where I would probably even consider that this larger uptrend is within a completely different scenario. But right now, that is not the case. We don't have the evidence to actually track a more bearish interpretation, not right now anyway. Now, in the shorter time frame within this correction, at the moment, it couldn't really work out too well within the yellow interpretation if we are to find a bottom already. But honestly, at this point it is still preferred to extend lower, and we have a couple of ways we could do that. And what I'm tracking here is basically an ABC pattern, where in the wave C I would still expect further extensions as long as we won't manage to break out of certain areas of resistance. Now, before we get to that, I would like to label this as the ABC pattern and point out that the ideal target, now this is an ideal target, which means we don't need to get there and we don't need to stop there, but the ideal target within the wave C to the downside is the 100% extension of the wave A, in which case this is the $6.6 level, very much in line with the first level of support here in the yellow scenario. And within the wave C to the downside, well, as I was mentioning, I have a couple of interpretations which I could allow. I was looking out for a possible impulse to be forming in this area, but since we managed to break internally within this 1, 2, 3, 4th and the 5th, we managed to break above the resistance levels for a wave 4, yeah, quite sustainably and multiple times, I am more inclined to believe that this would be developing as an ending diagonal within the wave C. And in that case, instead of watching here for resistance for the wave 4, I am watching actually even for a possible extension within this wave 3 to the downside, where I would consider that this wave 3 is not necessarily done yet, and it could very, very easily still extend. And in that case, I would need to allow this movement to find resistance within the area between the $8.6 all the way up to the $10.1 level at the 78.6% retracement. So far, we have formed a pretty quick and sharp correction, or yeah, the correction, it could work out to the upside within a 3-wave pattern, which is indicating that quite possibly we have even already completed this wave B, and that we may need to be ready to watch out for a wave C to already be unfolding here to the downside. Now, in that case, we could be looking for the ideal target for the wave C internally within this larger wave 3, which is the 100% extension of the wave A. Now that would be the $6.3 level. Now keep in mind, this could still work out as a 1, 2, 3, 4th and the 5th within an ending diagonal. Yeah, so we don't need to extend necessarily within this wave 3 in green. We could just have the bottomed here already, we could have the 4th wave complete and form just another low in an ABC pattern and be done with the correction, and even start our general larger uptrend. So don't necessarily wait for the perfect low if you really are interested on this chart. You may be able to still get an interesting position but that's your choice. I'm not telling you what to do. But yeah, if you are looking for the next additional low, it is already quite interesting in my opinion. But I do need to allow the resistance to be all the way up to the $10.1 level at this point at least. Yeah, we need to break that for a more clear indication that this pattern to the downside, this movement to the downside, is likely done. And for now, these are the levels. This is the trade setup. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe and let me know what else you want me to cover, and I'll do my best to do that in the days and weeks ahead. And until then, I hope you have a nice day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.